scanning the black, tracking the heat, never turning back. Control 22, a covert gaze. Control 33, in the cosmic maze. Controls in the mix, secrets untold. Silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. In the silence of space, they keep their post, shields unseen yet feared the most. With precision and speed, they warn of danger, keeping us safe from the missile's anger. As beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. Controls in the mix, secrets untold, silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star.
Spears, sentinel of the night. I love how it says Spears. It reminds me of how Jeremy Reese always says Espers instead of Sibbers. Spears. I might call it Spears, guys. I love it, guys. Hey, welcome to the stream tonight, everybody. Good evening or good morning if you are on the other side of the world. Appreciate you guys all being here today. We're probably going to do a relatively short stream tonight. I know I always say that, but I think I mean it this time. I had a couple podcasts after work today, and whew, I might be one of the hardest working people on the planet right now. It's wild, chat. Okay, first quick update. If you have sent an email to EtherTech LLC, I have not gotten to the emails yet. I probably have a couple hundred. This weekend, I will be going through the emails, doing a preliminary review. Basically deleting any that I don't think that are relevant, and maybe start replying to some people as well. So we'll be going through that. There will be some pretty exciting podcasts should be coming up here as well between now and next Monday. Should be awesome. I'm also going to be heading out to the Cosmic Summit this weekend, so I won't be streaming this weekend. That reminds me, I've got to figure out how I'm going to be able to record on my phone. So I might have to make a note of that for myself to go get a bigger memory card tomorrow. Or for my camera, I mean. Okay. So tonight, what are we doing tonight, guys? So first of all, we're going to, if you have questions, I'm going to answer questions in the chat. We're going to do a little bit of Ning Lee review to catch people up on this. Also, as I've said before, I don't know, the whole gravity stuff, like, I don't know. I feel kind of uncomfortable digging into a lot of it because I got so much sketchy stuff that I'm working with right now already. So we may not do a lot more gravity review streams. So get your fill in. I kind of predict that we'll do this review of Ning Lee's stuff a little bit. We're going to look at some of her papers at a high level. And then we may look into a little bit of Gary Stevenson because we found out that he wrote some papers with Bob Baker, which is pretty wild to me, especially because Bob Baker has probably one of the coolest high-frequency gravitational wave papers I've ever seen that are out there. My day job is healthcare IT. I was extremely busy on my day job today. That's why I didn't post anything at all for the most part on Twitter. But I did just post some stuff as well just a few days ago here. Or not a few days ago. Look how tired I am. Like a couple hours ago as well. Oh, you've got an extra SD card? Oh, that helps. I'm probably going to pick one up. I don't know how big it has to be to store everything that I need. I want to be able to take some short videos while I'm out there, and then when I get back, post them out here. So that's my plan, ideally. So if you missed out oh yeah, healthcare IT is brutal. Yeah, I'm kind of over the healthcare IT stuff, to be honest with you, man. The healthcare IT used to be exciting 20 years ago when we were moving people away from people that were still on paper, and then we moved them to medical record, electronic records. My first site was completely still on paper when I joined them 20 years ago, and now it's like we're not even like using AI very much, and I feel like everything could be done, like so much could be done by AI at this point. It's not as exciting as it used to be. So much more exciting to be looking at doing Overunity and free energy and stuff like that, which I like a lot more. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Let's all move to Huntsville and start an orb scene. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping the Overunity thing works out. I have been in contact with the entity that I'm signed the NDA with, and we're working through stuff behind the scenes. And yeah, like I said, I think the time frame of a few weeks as well to be able to take in-person videos gonna be pretty awesome. I think that, of course, people are going to still think that it's a scam no matter what. That is what it is. But there will be some people that will be convinced, and I think that it should be able to attract enough attention that at least some of the electrical engineers, influencers may be interested. Okay, what other questions you guys have before we get in there? Yeah, smash that like button, guys, if you don't mind. COVID ruined healthcare. Yeah, COVID definitely ruined healthcare. Sucks. Guys, I love Tupa and I love Red Panda, but the Skyfire needs a little bit of upgrading on some of their stuff. I think that I don't know if it's a matter there's not enough interesting UFO stuff happening on a daily basis. But I don't know. They gotta figure something out with respect to it in general. Why do you think Elon won't comment on the airplane situation? You know he's seen the footage. That is one of the number one questions on my mind. One of the top questions on my mind. Why is Elon Musk not commented on the MH370 videos? I mean, he loves this kind of stuff. He loves the science. He comments on all kinds of social crap all over X. You can tell he's got these regulars that he follows that he comments on as well, which they must love it because he basically just drives huge amounts of revenue to them on any of his posts. I don't know, guys. I mean, he's a defense contractor, so he might have to stay away. There's more people than I thought that were in the know on this kind of stuff as well. And some of them I think are influencers in the UFO community. Other ones are just people that are like rich billionaires, etc. And I think they're smart enough to keep their mouths shut, especially anybody who's a defense contractor. Malcolm Bendel is not involved in anything that I'm doing, although I will be meeting up with him this weekend. So that'll be cool. I'll get to talk about plasmoids and stuff with him in general. Oh, 256 gigabyte. I might buy one as well. I'll probably pick up my own, but if not, it's good to know that you've got an extra one for the summit. So yeah, the Cosmic Summit is sold out in person, I believe, 500 people, which is that's gonna be a lot of people. That's gonna be awesome. And I do have some passes to potentially give away. I don't exactly know how many because some weird stuff has happened. I don't know how I'm gonna do it actually. So I've got some passes to give away for it's like $135 value for the virtual online pass for access to all the presentations and all the classrooms. I will be in one of the classrooms on Monday, and I'm probably going to be talking about Overunity and MH370 stuff. Not really sure. But I can't figure out what to do with it. So I'm probably going to wait till tomorrow. And what I might do is just make a Twitter post and then just hand them away to DM people on Twitter. I may just do it that way instead, guys. So if you are interested, what I'll say is I'm going to think of something. And then I think what I'll do is I'll make a Twitter post tomorrow. And then for the people that are interested, they want to reply because I want to make sure people get the passes that need them. And because I don't know exactly how many I have left, it's going to be kind of awkward. So probably going to do something like that and then just let the people who really want it get at it because I want to let people who are actually going to use it get the passes. Am I going to post Overunity the device? So first of all, I'm not going to post the nuance of the device. Like you're not going to be able to see exactly how it works. But I do plan on posting videos on X, maybe on YouTube as well, that show like, you know, not directly the device, but like over the device or the side of the device, and then with the meters on it, so you guys can see what we're working with. Should be pretty cool. Either way, it should be neat, especially if I'm there in person, because I want to be charging my phone and my thing off of it, and I should be able to show that it's not plugged in at all, which I think will help a lot. So we'll see. Okay. I don't know if Elon has anybody looking at Overunity, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do. I don't think SpaceX is a scam. I just think you guys overestimate how many people know about all this stuff. In general, not a lot. Like the gravity stuff is so compartmentalized that like very, very few people know about it in general. It's part of the reason why I don't really want to talk about it too much more either, because like I'm probably now at this point one of the few people that really does know and understand that the technology is real, and a lot of other people are just, they don't think it can be real, or they haven't seen it, or they haven't done the research, or you know, they're just CNN brain type people. But the science is out there. It's been out there for a very, very long time. Why has Lou Elizondo not been pressed for a statement about the videos? Yeah, I mean, Lou Elizondo and David Grush like have NDAs, guys. So, yeah. I have not done the giveaway. Like I just said, I'm probably going to post on my Twitter account. So if you're interested in the giveaway, I think what I'll do is I'll post a Twitter post tomorrow only for followers to reply. And then I'll just pick some people out of it. Maybe I'll have people give me the reasons why they want to have the pass or something. I don't know. I'll do something silly like that. And then I'll just pick, I think it's like 7 people, 6 to 8 people, somewhere in that range in terms of passes. Then I'll DM them, and I'll DM them the code. And then they can sign up for it. So pretty cool. Now, if you don't get a code and you want to get a pass, there is a code that's called Ashton, ASHTON, and it's supposed to give you 50% off. I don't know exactly what it gets you 50% off on. So you're free to try that code out if you want to pay for yourself and not, you know, get the free pass or whatever. So give that a go, guys. Okay, let me see what else we got. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way, because that way I can direct message people on X instead of trying to figure out how it's going to work on YouTube. I looked around on like giveaways and stuff online. I can't figure out any ways to do it. I'm going to be at the summit all weekend, so I'll be there on Friday night for, I think there's some kind of party. I'm probably going to have a few drinks, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then leaving on Monday. So should be good. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Donald Trump stuff and his uncle and blah blah blah. All that stuff. It's pretty interesting. I think that all politics is a big scam too, by the way, guys. More people knew about this than I expected. I mean, it's hard to say. So, I mean, like, I think that the reaction that I got while I was disclosing the video surprised me. I expected more people to be jumping on, trying to take advantage of me in the situation, like the UFO celebrity people. The fact that so many of them were quiet gave me a lot of pause. That was not what I expected. I did not expect Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp to completely ignore me. I didn't expect Ross Coulthart to ignore me. You know, the Lou Elizondos, everybody ignored it. And the reason why they ignored it is the videos are real. And they're not allowed to probably talk about real stuff for the most part. Like, they are either directly controlled or indirectly controlled. I don't know which the answer is, but I would guarantee that they're all being controlled one way or another. And you can tell because they're not genuine, like, ever. None of them are. Like, literally none of them are genuine. Like, Jeremy Corbell, I realized what a clown Jeremy Corbell was when I saw the clip of him going into the, what do they call it? Contact in the desert crap with all his producers around him. That's a dude who just wants to be famous. He doesn't care about anything, honestly. I mean, if you're coming around, you got a bunch of people trying to gush over you and have your producers with you, that doesn't scream genuine to me. Ross Coulthart, the guy's the fakest man in the world. Ross Coulthart is. I wouldn't trust a single thing Ross Coulthart said to me, even right to my face. And Lou Alzondo's just got an NDA, literally a counterintelligence guy. So I think that he's a very good liar for sure, as opposed to somebody who's genuine. I mean, you guys have seen what genuine reporting looks like. I've been showing it to you for 9 months straight. Don't trust anybody they put on TV. Nobody they put on TV, don't trust anything they say. They only put people on TV that are controlled and are going to say what they want you to say. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Elon is extremely busy, controlling the company. So maybe he hasn't seen the Nimitz videos. I don't know. I did sign an NDA related to the Overunity device. Yeah. So that device is going to be real, guys. Whether or not people believe it or whatever, I don't even really care, frankly. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, Elon commented. He completely dodged the question when he commented. He didn't answer the question at all. He literally took a copy and pasted answer. It was very bizarre. And what I would say on the Overunity, last thing on the Overunity is that there's a podcast coming out probably on Monday where I actually answered some questions regarding government's use of Overunity that somebody asked me that I didn't think they were going to ask me. Nobody's asked me before, which is pretty interesting. I'm not going to say who yet. It's kind of a surprise, but I think it's going to be pretty decent. We had Dave Rossi on 3 different times on Hard Truths already. So I don't know if I'm going to have him on soon again, but I talk to him pretty frequently. Okay, what else we got? Do I have any specific videos or primers on learning the science? I would say start with, you want to start at the beginning with electrical engineering. And I would say watch the Veritasium video on how power flows. That's very, very important. There's 2 videos. They're pretty short, really good. And then after that, I would say watch the Thomas Bearden videos. If you go back a few weeks, maybe a couple months, there's like a 5-part series I did on Thomas Bearden. It's like, I think literally named like Thomas Bearden number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Watch those. Watch those. If you want to learn science correctly, watch those. And then from there, I literally have a list of science concepts that I just Googled and asked AI about and continually go back to and ask about in order to read and understand the science better and better and better. Learning the science is not a race. Like, it's going to take months to learn it. But what happens is as you get better and better, it starts to come together for you. And that's what I would say as well. Yeah, so I'm going to elaborate. I'm going to apparently have to answer this all the time. I don't mean to be personal. I don't mean to attack you here, but I frankly don't care what people think about how they think the Overunity and free energy should be revealed to the world. The truth of the situation is it's a lot more complicated than idealistic pie in the sky attitudes. People say, oh, it should be shared with the world. That's not how anything works on this planet. Nothing on this planet works that way. And that's the reason why it hasn't happened. In fact, there was a guy that just replied on my post recently. He made his schematics available to the world. Do you see anybody picking them up and making it? No, because that's not how it works. The way it works is somebody actually produces it and sells it to people, and then it becomes real. That's how the things work in the real world. So if people want to try to criticize for the approach, it is what it is. There's literally no such thing as a free lunch in this world. If you want to work for free for somebody, go nuts. But asking somebody else to give you something for free is called a handout. That's what homeless people do when they ask for money on the side of the road. Asking somebody to give you their intellectual property for free, it's also not how the free market operates. So, just that's the truth of how this stuff works out, guys. Why wasn't T-Paulo and Crishley invited to the Cosmic Summit? Good question. One of the things I want to say on that, though, is it doesn't mean I don't want to gatekeep the technology. I want to be able to get the technology to get cheaper and cheaper so that everybody can afford it. That's truly what I want. But I think that we're a ways away from that. We should not be trying to rush it, and we should be level-headed about it, because the government could come shut this down at any time they want. That's the truth. How's your fear of flying? Fear of flying is not going well, chat. Not going well. It's getting a lot worse. It's going to be, so if anything happens in my plane in any way, shape, or form, it's not an accident. Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Also, we do not have, there's no investment opportunities yet in the company. I mean, we're not even going to think about that until after we've got some devices produced for people that are out there. I want to make sure that this thing works out before we try to ramp it up. Yeah, I'm over 40 years old. It's true. Okay. I'm going to have to skip through some of this. I guess I was talking about it for a little while, and I got further behind on this stuff. No, there's not going to be any demos of the device. No. So it's funny because people are like, "Oh, if you don't show it to me, I'm not going to believe it." Yeah, I don't care if you believe it. There was somebody who posted in my replies being like, "I'm not going to believe anything until I see a demo firsthand." Cool. Well, no one cares what you believe. That sounds obnoxious, but it's the truth. The reason why the engineers don't come out is because they don't care what the public believes. They don't care at all. They don't give a crap if you believe it or not. They are selling it to defense contractors and rich people and making tons of money off of it. So nobody found the wreckage. There's I saw a couple of fake videos out there. That's not real, guys. Nobody found the wreckage of MH370. There's literally nobody searching right now. So nobody found the wreckage of MH370. There's a lot of fake stuff out there, guys. You got to be very careful. I'm not. Okay. Let's see what else we got. I don't fear publicly for my safety. I mean, something could happen to me. I don't know. I try to skirt the line, try to push it only as far as I need to, but we'll see. Do you expect the energy section to be a monopoly with Overunity, or do you assume it'll be similar to how the energy sector is already? I don't think it's going to be as big of an impact as you guys imagine, because we already have stuff like solar panels and wind. I think it's going to be like that. Now, over time, I think it will replace old, obsolete energy for sure. End of the day, though, you could still imagine energy companies buying large Overunity devices and then selling the energy to poor people. I mean, that's how the world really works, right? It's pretty shitty, but if at least maybe we can get the energy cost down. You know, on a large scale, you can imagine your energy bill goes down tenfold. That's still pretty significant. And maybe it'll get, incredibly better. I don't know. I just think it's the beginning, right? Yeah, I know I'm playing with fire. I don't know. Why do people keep feeling the need to tell me what I already know? Nothing weird has happened to me. No. If I was the Saudis in the Middle East, I would be wanting Overunity like crazy, because we're about to destroy the fossil fuel industry, you know? I'd had a podcast I talked to today after work about, ancient civilizations potentially having this technology. I don't know. I think it's a cool thought. I'm not really sure. I'm actually hoping to learn more about this on the Cosmic Summit as well. I haven't revealed the entity that I've partnered with regarding the Overunity thing, but I probably will in the next few weeks. So it's not like we're trying to keep it like some kind of super secret. I just wanted to take the blunt of the criticism before we reveal the entity. And then I also wanted to do it when we actually are able to show the device in person, or show the device producing Overunity in person. That way it'll be a lot more difficult to criticize. And people will still say, oh, they're cheating or whatever, but that's great. We've had the challenge out there. So any large influencers that are not afraid of signing a basic NDA are free to learn exactly how it works, and they can come see it and test it for themselves. And then all they have to do is admit that it works and that they were wrong about Overunity and that Ethertech is real. Seems like a very fair deal to me. I don't know why people are so afraid. I mean, I do know why they're afraid, is that their whole credibility and everything's at stake. Some of these people have made a whole career out of debunking stuff like free energy and Overunity. For them to have to admit that it's real would mean that they don't know anything about electrical engineering and that they've been wrong for their whole careers. It's a lot to lose for some of these people, which is why I love it, the deal. I mean, technically, from the normie perspective, you would say they have nothing to lose, but you know, they kind of do. I think that after we show them the readings on the meters that show Overunity, I think that will bait some people into coming to check it out for themselves. That's what I think. Because you know, you can cheat anything. Anything can be faked, but that's the part where they're going to have to start to scratch their chin a little bit. The insider paper post, I just retweeted that because they talked about how much energy the UFOs are producing, and you know the UFOs are abusing the energy from the ether as well. So that's the reason why I posted that. I don't know anything about the giants. Seems interesting though. Pretty interesting. Yeah, we're cooking out here, chat. Yeah, and I feel like this Overunity device can potentially get a lot more powerful as well. Like the version that I've seen, I think seems like it has room for improvements. Even though I'm not an engineer, I don't know for sure, but just that's the perception I get when I see it. And you know, the idea would be make it better, more powerful, and also make it cheaper at the same time. As a business-minded guy, that's the stuff that I like to think about in general. You can watch some of the podcasts I've done if you want to learn more. I did a whole stream where I answered questions about it. I'm not going to answer all the questions today. I haven't had any takers from any large follower accounts, but one of the podcasters that I talked to today that should be dropping on Monday, they were interested in potentially seeing it in person. So we'll see. There's another big influencer that's out there that might sign the NDA. I'm not going to reveal who they are, but maybe. I'm not in a rush in any of it. I guess my title at EtherTech would be CEO. So, I mean, we're not really like that whole point, but technically, I guess I'm CEO of EtherTech. So, we're still waiting for some of the paperwork to be finished anyway, guys. So that's another reason why I haven't answered emails yet, is that I want to make sure all the paperwork is done and solid before I start with official titles and we get anybody really on board, you know. I want to make sure everything's above board, nothing's illegal or anything like that. Billy Carson? Yeah, maybe. I don't know about Billy Carson, guys. I mean, he seems like a knowledgeable dude. He's definitely a smart guy. I just don't know how much of this stuff is he's just gleaning versus stuff that he's actually got like strong evidence for in general. We don't have any long-term plans on the device in general at the moment. Short-term plan is to try to get probably like 10 to a dozen people who are highly credible that will be able to, for lack of a better term, keep their mouths shut, not go around posting videos and stuff of it on the internet. And then once we have them satisfied, then I think we might think about opening it up more. We've got some strategies for protecting the intellectual property that we've been talking about. That's about as far as I can go to related to it. But we do want to make sure that we are protected, and we've had a first mover advantage before we would reveal it to the world in a more, let's say, open way. Yeah, I do think that some of the celebrities are ignoring me because they got trumped. I mean, the reality is the whole UFO community got scooped. I think that's just the funniest part, is that all these people have been talking about UFO disclosure for decades, and then some random dude, random normal guy, finds videos that were already out there. I didn't have to be given the videos or anything like that. And then just realizes that they're real and just completely blows away all disclosure in the whole UFO community. That honestly, isn't that the great story? Like, that's how it should be done anyway. That's how it should be done. Is it should just be a random guy that is able to wake everybody up. That's real disclosure. All this bullshit where people think that like David Grush is going to tell them the disclosure, or Lou Elizondo is going to be their hero, or the government's going to come out and admit aliens are real. Like, this is all nonsense. That was never going to happen. That was never going to happen. You know, it's too funny. Okay. Okay. Well, a couple more questions, and I want to dig into some of this. We're already half hour in. This is a good question, though. Where do you think China and Russia are in related to this technology? If I had to rank the countries right now, I would say that USA is number one. China's probably ways behind, but catching up quickly. And then Russia is like right behind them. That's how I would have to rank them. That's just my personal intuition based on geopolitics and what's been going on in the world. I think China's catching up rapidly. I think they're the ones that we're afraid of for sure. Just for the record, I'm just gonna. I don't want to have to keep repeating this, but I know I'm gonna have to keep repeating it no matter what. This is not going to be open sourced. I don't care what you think. Doesn't matter. So, other devices have been open sourced, and you can feel free to do whatever you want with those devices. They're never going to take off. So, good luck with that. Yeah, I'm taking clips from the Salvatore Paez video. I've already got one ready to go, and we'll see. I took the clip of Salvatore Paez talking about energy not flowing through wires. I'm going to troll the electrical engineering community later tonight, right after this stream. He talks about superconductivity, and then he mentions the Veritasium video of electricity not flowing through wires. I can't wait. I'm going to take some more tomorrow. I'm probably going to take a bunch of clips from that and then post them out through the weekend while I'm out in Cosmic Summit as well. Overunity is not limited. You can just scale it up and it can produce huge amounts of energy. I think the bigger question is if you produce too much energy, you get to a situation where the thing might actually be able to bend space-time around it and lose weight. And that's where you might want to be careful about being around it. Do I think Joe Rogan will have me on? I don't know, guys. Honestly, at this point, it would be kind of awkward if Joe Rogan's like, hey, we want to come back on? I mean, I totally shit on your investigation, your videos with Kurt Metzger, but you want to come on? At this point, I'm probably going to wait for Joe Rogan to like beg me to come back on. I don't even care that much. That's the truth. The reality is that the whole Joe Rogan thing, like the world has to be ready for the information that I'm going to present. And I've already got a monopoly on the information. Nobody can come in and scoop me on the videos. Nobody can come and scoop me on Overunity. I mean, we're light years ahead of everybody on that stuff. So it is whatever. Okay, well, yeah, guys, I don't really deal with concern trolling either. I'm kind of over it. Like a lot of people are concern trolling me about not open sourcing the stuff. Like you're going to get a timeout if you do that. I'm not going to ban you, but I am going to give you a timeout. Just stop with that, man. I don't care what you think. I'm not going to adhere to your way of doing it. And if you think that if you're going to make threats against me about how I'm going to get disappeared or whatever, like, great. Like I know what's at stake, man. Better than anybody, better than you guys know. So, just chill out. Chill out and enjoy the show would be my recommendation, guys. Is it true that you cut your teeth being a truth teller about COVID? Not really. I was pretty quiet about COVID, guys. Although I did do some protests against the lockdowns. Yeah, the Redditors, like we broke their minds, especially when it comes to the Overunity stuff, man. They never expected that I would go, all in and then be like, well, I found a roundabout way. Now I'm going to prove Overunity is real. Because honestly, if I'm able to prove Overunity is real, does it even matter about the videos? That's probably the biggest story in the world. That by itself. Yeah, Nick Pope. I don't know about these guys. Like a lot of these guys, like I don't know. I'm not going to talk any more smack about them, but it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, China's going to copy the Overunity device and sell it for $9.99. I mean, I totally agree. They will definitely steal it. They might have already stolen it for all I know. Good news is we don't really have to compete with them for the most part. I mean, the most interesting aspect of the MH370 videos is we're looking at a real fucking wormhole. Like I would never have thought we could actually like bend space-time. Like I mean, I'd known the physics was possible, but I never would have seen it for yourself as a completely different thing. Yes, that's the name of the Veritasium video if anyone's interested. Okay. The problem for the people who are like, well, why wouldn't you go on Joe Rogan or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you've got to realize that people are going to freak out, right? If you think it's bad with the debunkers right now, man, you guys remember some of my arguments with the BBC guy and the Boeing 777 pilot? Like some of these people are so brainwashed that they will lash out in anger. Like it might actually put me in danger to go on to Joe Rogan and reveal some of this stuff, because it's going to break people's minds. And then at that point, we're breaking millions of people's minds. And it's not going to be like Terrence Howard. Like Terrence Howard had a bunch of people who try to one-up him and say how silly he is. When I go and talk about the science, there's very little holes in it. Like there's very little they'll be able to criticize. So what it's going to do instead is it's going to piss people off. People are going to get angry. They're going to be like, this guy, he can't possibly know. He doesn't have the credentials to talk about any of this stuff. Who does he think he is? That's how people are going to react with me going on Joe Rogan. So I've got to be very cautious about going on giant platforms. And I have to be 100% sure that I'm not going to get like attacked or fall into a trap. There is a real possibility that Joe Rogan is controlled as well. And while I don't think that's the case, I have to operate under that assumption, because he was influenced to not have me on the show, which tells me that I have to be careful about Joe Rogan in general. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's true. I'd rather build up to the point where when I go on Joe Rogan, it's more accepted, you know, and that will take a little bit of effort. It may take some time, but that's fine. We're not in a rush. I'm only 41 years old, guys. We got a long time to go, you know? And yeah, the Plato's Cave thing is right. You can't wake people up there in Plato's Cave, man. They see the shadows. They don't see the light. It's true. Okay. I think Eric Weinstein will be one of the first ones to come around, if he comes around. I think that quite a lot of the old school physicists that are out there, the ones that are like 60 and above, they'll never come around. I think they're too set in their ways. It's too humiliating for some of them to admit that they didn't see all of this and they didn't figure all this out. For some of them, they'll be able to come around, but it's going to take people who they think are prominent and credentialed to tell them to think that way. Pretty interesting. Okay. I think we're ready to dig into some of this now. Yeah, I could see Joe Rogan inviting me back on if I can prove that Overunity is possible. I think but how awkward would it be? Because he'd be like, well, I told you I didn't want to go on because I thought your videos were fake, but now I want to have you on to talk about free energy because you proved to the world free energy is real. And I'm going to just stare at him and go, oh, so when I told you that we could bend space-time and bend and manipulate gravity, you didn't want to talk to me. But now that I've proven and I'm selling Overunity free energy devices, now you do? Okay. What's changed? That'd be my first question, right? I haven't heard of ferro engines, but presumably it has to do with magnets, ferromagnets or something. I don't know. Okay. Ashton's getting salty. Lol. Yeah, I mean, guys, you saw the Terrence Howard stuff as well, right? The Terrence Howard, I mean, like, look at how people reacted to him. That would be a similar way that people would react to me, although it would probably be even more vitriolic, to be honest. I imagine. I mean, people really came at Terrence Howard, dude. It's a crazy person. Is whatever, you know, they came with all kinds of bullshit. A crazy actor. CERN, $4.7 billion. Oh, thank you for the donation. Appreciate you, Mangela. You've donated quite a few times. Nice of you, man. It's the one thing that I can't get over. How could so many people be so wrong, deceitful, truly curious? How do you spend that much money? I mean, 4.7 billion might as well just be a drop in the bucket, honestly. I think the thing about CERN is that it's like sabotage to not be successful. Same way where like the Q thruster that went into outer space, they just sabotaged the project so that it would never get tested. Same idea. I mean, it's still making people money. Like at the end of the day, it's like money is just a way to pay people to do a job, you know, and that's what CERN is as well. It's a way to pay people to do a job. It's not about being successful. They've already got all the success in the black projects that they know works. It's about putting on a little show for people, distract the people with the circus and the peanuts, you know? So, okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't say 1 × 1 = 2 without a little bit of ridicule. You're not going to hear me say anything like that for sure. The problem would be they would probably catch me out on some misstatement that I would make, some like technical misstatement about the science. and then everybody would hone in on that, and they would ignore everything else that I said. That's probably what would happen. Okay, I think we're ready to go. No, I don't think CERN's run on Overunity at all. Could 3D printed magnets play a role, specifically in the Tokachi engine setup? I don't know. Guys. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at Ning Lee stuff. Solving the mystery behind the disappearance of Dr. Ning Lee. It's probably the only time you're going to see me view anything on Reddit. This is from a year ago. Actually, a little bit less than a year ago. There's probably better links, honestly. But some of this stuff like isn't even in the news. So let's see. After migrating to America from China in 1983, Lee began working at the University of Alabama, Huntsville Center for Plasma and Aeronomic Research. So that's already interesting right there. She was working in plasma, huh? Plasma is one of the areas where I didn't even realize how advanced we were. And now I'm like, oh, okay, we can make magnetic monopoles out of moving plasma. Oh, that's weird. APK says I thought I was subscribed and I wasn't. Well, that's weird. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some shenanigans going on behind the scenes. I can't remove people from being subscribed. So anyway, thank you for the donation. Appreciate the €5. Yeah, euros. Appreciate it. Ning Lee died. Ning Lee died a couple years ago, for the record, guys. So Ning Lee's not alive. So this can't threaten her in any way. It can only get us in trouble. Yeah, science is going to get attacked no matter how you present it. I agree with you on that one. She became famous and somewhat controversial for a series of papers she co-authored from 1991 to 1993. Now, the first question is, why would co-authoring papers make you famous and controversial? The reason why it would make you famous and controversial is because there's something to the science, and they don't want that science to get out publicly. She described a practical method of producing an anti-gravity field which had never been done before. It always had been held that because gravity is a basic force of nature, constructing an anti-gravity machine is theoretically impossible. However, Lee and her co-author, Douglas Torr, theorized ways around this belief by using high-temperature superconductor. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys right now, producing gravity is not impossible. So anybody that tells you it's impossible is a liar or an idiot. I don't know which, but we've looked at enough scientific papers at this point to know for a fact that producing gravity waves is not impossible. And I think it's anybody who thinks it's impossible, like truly believes it's impossible, is not very open-minded about science in general. Ashton is a Redditor confirmed. Using about 1 kilowatt of electricity, Lee claimed her device could produce a force field that would effectively neutralize gravity above a 1-foot diameter region extending from the surface of the planet to outer space. To demonstrate their research, they invited officials from the renowned science and energy magazine Popular Mechanics to visit their laboratory in Huntsville to see their work in progress, a 12-inch disc which acted as a high-temperature superconductor. Upon the disc's completion, they told the magazine, a bowling ball placed anywhere above this disc will stay exactly where you left it. I mean, that's an extremely powerful anti-gravitic effect. That's like not a joke. A bowling ball? Bowling ball is heavy as hell, chat. Huh. In the late 1990s, she claimed to have created anti-gravity devices that were fully functional, and this was big news in scientific journals and mainstream press. After 2003, she seemed to disappear off the face of the earth, and people were still trying to figure out what happened to her to this day. In 1999, Lee left University of Alabama, Huntsville to start her own company, AC Gravity, and commercialize a device based on her theories. So once again, guys, so you see why people go to the commercialization route. You could argue the same thing to Ning Lee that you argued to me. Oh, you need to open source it or they're going to disappear you. Whatever, man. Nobody's going to do that. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if this science was already out there before this as well. You just got to take your shot. And if they disappear you, they disappear you. And what I think happened to Ning Lee is I think she got brought into the Black Projects. That's what really happened to her. She didn't get disappeared. She got brought into the Black Projects, and then you just go silent. And then you make buku amounts of money, You make tons of money. Yeah, you'll find out. Somebody mentioned Amy Eskridge. You'll find out that all the smart people, not all of them, but a lot of them, are at University of Alabama in Huntsville or in the Huntsville area, which you would think for Huntsville, some backwoods southern town, you wouldn't think that they would have like this amount of massive PhD and gravity researchers, but it does apparently. Let's see. Okay, so her colleagues obviously believed in her work as the chair of UAH's physics department. Larry Smalley also departed the university to join her. Public records show that in 2001, the U.S. Department of Defense gave AC Gravity a grant for almost $450,000. The results were never... Whoa. APK. Wow. Huge donation. 50 euros. Will you be producing this Overunity devices in 6 months from now? I can't wait to buy one, even at the prices of a Tesla. I introduced some of my friends to your research, and I'm not even sure to show the device to my friends, even if I get one. Yes. 6 months from now, if this all goes well, we'll be producing them. And we will see. So I appreciate that. That's a very nice donation, and thank you for that offer as well. If you end up getting one of the devices, I don't think we expect that you have to hide it from everybody in your life. You just can't let them take videos or pictures of it and post it on the internet. We will have serial numbers and way to track the devices as well to ensure that people aren't doing that. So if you do have an NDA, the idea is like, of course you're going to talk to people, but we just don't want to see it on CNN and we don't want to see it on YouTube somewhere. So, but thank you. Appreciate that, man. That's a big donation. End of the day, we know the devices are going to get out there, so we're trying to be careful about it. We'll see. Because, I mean, the moment it gets out there, I just don't want anybody to get in trouble or get hurt or something. John says, I think you'll get pulled into the dark project space as well. It honestly wouldn't surprise me that much, because the more I've learned about this, the more I've learned that the people they're interested in are the ones that have aptitude levels to be able to figure this stuff out on their own. And then the people that can deal with the pressure. There's a big mental game associated with this. I mean, you learn this stuff is real, and you have to start reconciling reality as you see it with all this obsolete technology with what you know is possible. And you also have to be able to reconcile you have to reconcile all this the hatred and attacks that you get. Whoa. APK. Okay, chill out, APK. Thank you very much, man. That's huge. So yeah, as long as I'm still around 6 months from now, man, you don't have to donate anymore. I appreciate it. You don't need to donate any more of this. If you are really interested in the Overunity device, save your money for that. But thank you, man. This is pretty awesome. That was a really big donation. Appreciate you, man. Also, I want to thank the people who donated to my Cash App through Twitter. I think I have a link. Yeah, let me thank some of these people real quick. Benjamin sent me $5. Cameron sent me $1. Richard sent me $10. Elliot, $10. Christy, I already thanked Christy, but I want to thank her again. $50. That was a huge donation. Thank you on the Cash App. And then Kyle sent $10 as well. So, hey, guys, the Cash App tips have been paying off on Twitter. Apparently, Elon Musk has it down. Baker's thought said, you have Jonas DeRoe art on the wall? Yeah, I did. It's Citadel of Bolus, actually. It's funny because somebody pointed that out. They said Jonas DeRoe had some art, and I was like, wait a minute, really? It didn't surprise me because he's a digital artist and he's extremely talented, which is why you can't rule him out from having faked the cloud pictures. But yeah, I went through and I started looking at the names because actually his name rung a bell. I generally don't look at the artist names when I played Magic. But sometimes you check them out because you always see it down there. And I found it actually super quickly, even though there's like 100 cards on that wall over there. And yeah, pretty funny. That honestly, that made me even more suspicious because Jonas isn't just some random guy. He's like an accomplished VFX artist. So that made it like he has connections to people as well. So if somebody was setting up an elaborate scam related to the cloud pictures, like he would be the target whether knowing or unknowing. Pretty weird, man. Anyway, so yeah, thanks again, APK. That was fire, brother. Fire. Man, there's like some weird bug flying around. It's so annoying, dude. Honestly, guys, I would make a better Black Project spy than most of these clowns that are out there right now. Some of these people are terrible at their jobs, dude. I would have blamed I would have blamed MH370 on the Iranians, dude. Nobody would have figured it out. I'd have said the Iranians took the plane. We had to zap it with some. I would make something up, like the flux capacitor weapons or something like that, you know. And then the moment somebody had found these videos, I'd have been like, "Oh no, aliens zapped the plane, everybody!" And we had to save it. I mean, I would have been able to come with something better. I guarantee it. Than this. It flew into the South Indian Ocean. Yeah, we just never found it down there. That's normal. It's absurd. The Iranians, blaming the Iranians was the move. They messed up, man. They should have blamed the Iranians. 2 random Iranian passengers with stolen passports. Oh man, America would have eaten that up. They'd have said, "Oh, those dudes were definitely terrorists." Heck, I'd have believed it. Okay. Yeah, Black projects are employees with just regular people. That's what people got to realize as well. There's people that know how to shut the hell up, know how to keep their mouth shut. Okay, let's get back to this, guys. Boom. Okay, so Ning Li never published anything again. And even though the business license for AC Gravity was updated yearly throughout 2018, there's no record of any work done by the company. Yeah, because they're just selling it straight to the Black projects. Wait, there's a what really happened to MH370 interview with Megyn Kelly. Somebody should find that and post it in the Discord. I'll give an invite to the Discord real quick as well right now. Here's an invite to the Discord. I do want to see. I think I heard something about MH370 with Megyn Kelly. Yo, APK, chill out, APK. Chill out, dude. You're going to have the debunkers hating on me for super chats. You don't understand how jealous this makes the debunkers, APK. You got to chill out with the donations, brother. I'm going to have to cut you off, man. But thank you very much. That's huge. I'm getting one of these Overunity devices for sure. Thank you, Ashton. Yeah, wait for me to prove it beyond any shadow of a doubt. But if you're serious and you're donating like that, I can tell you're serious. So, yeah, you know, whenever you're ready, 6 months from now, I'll try to prioritize you, man. Just let me know that you're APK 345. Appreciate you, brother. It's nice of you. Did Electro Boom offer to collaborate, guys? I don't remember him offering that. If somebody has a link to that, can you post it for me in the Discord as well? He hasn't direct messaged me. So if he does direct message me, I will collaborate with Electro Boom possibly, but we would need to talk to him and vet him to make sure that he's got the right intentions. But yeah, you are definitely going to make the debunkers jealous, bro. You are definitely going to make them jealous, for the record, man. They get so triggered when people donate super chats to me. They get so triggered, dude. Especially a lot of like the failed YouTuber guys, like Steve Cambria or whatever. Because those guys, like, they need those donations. I honestly feel bad for them, man. Okay, so let's just keep going here. Ling's career after 2002 is subject to a great mystery. Barely Sociable's return document showing that she gave a presentation to the MITRE Corp in 2003. I've heard this MITRE Corp stuff a lot. Measurability of AC gravity fields. Interesting. The trail on Lee ends. Isn't this the one? Didn't she work with one of our engineer people that we know on this one? Like Bob Baker or somebody? Not sure. The trail on Lee ends after her last documented correspondence in 2003 when she sent a private email to colleagues claiming to have conducted an experiment in which she observed an 11 kilowatt output effect. The significance of that amount is still a mystery as well. Her absence did not go unnoticed. In 2004, journalist Tim Ventura sent an email to another scientist in the field named Eugene Potklanov, with the subject, tracking down Ning Li. In the email, Ventura writes, every 2 months, I retry the Li Ning Comcast at net email address you gave me for Ning Li. I can tell for return receipts that somebody's reading the email, but I never get a reply. In July of 2008, a scientist named Jack Sarfati provided a rather alarming update during an interview that was later posted on YouTube and included in the video from Baylor Sociable. During the interview, Sarfati claims Ning was no longer working for the DIA and moved back to China to continue her work. The transcript of the interview conveys a serious... Oh, so Jack Sarfati was full of shit when he said that, by the way, guys. Jack Sarfati didn't know what Ning Li was doing. I've got it on good authority. Jack Sarfati has never been in black projects before. So Jack Sarfati likes to talk, and he gets his information from CIA operatives, but it doesn't mean that information's good. He's got his trusted sources, but his trusted sources have no problem lying to him and letting him lie to people on podcasts. So this crap about Ning Li going back to China is bullshit, chat. Ning Li didn't go back to China. During the interview, this is very important from a national security perspective. One of the key scientists is a Chinese woman named Ling. She has disappeared and gone back to China, just said Sarfati. That's wild that he spread that lie about her. She was working for NASA at the Redstone Arsenal, but she has disappeared for several years now. The people at Pentagon cannot reach her. This is all bullshit. She's allegedly back in China. The Chinese are pouring money into similar... There's absolutely no way we would let Ning Li go back to China, guys. No chance. No chance. We would keep her under wraps for sure. Okay. I was able to track down her son and get some answers to the questions people have been asking for 20 years. George was vaguely aware that people were still interested in his mom, but didn't understand just how interested people were. I played Barely Sociable's video for him and his two children in his living room, along with showing him some of the online discourse, and he was able to clarify things that have been speculated over the years. Most importantly, Ning never left the DoD and never left the country to work for the Chinese government. There you go. Who should we trust? Jack Sarfati and his CIA contacts? Or should we trust literally her son, who tells us a story that makes way more sense, which is that she never left the DoD and she never went back to China and worked for China? There's no chance we would let her do that. 0% chance. It would be more likely that she went to the moon. Honestly, way more likely, especially if there's a secret space program. You could convince me that she worked on the moon before you could convince me that she went back to to China, honestly. Pretty wild. Okay. Let's see what else. Dr. Li continued to work at Redstone Arsenal every day until 2014, when Li was struck by a vehicle while crossing the street on the campus. This accident, unfortunately, had a lasting effect on the family. Her father, Li's husband, suffered a heart attack at the moment he saw his wife of 46 years being thrown from the impact. He would pass away a year later. Huh. Wild. Oh, wait. George said his mother was visited by Chinese officials on one occasion in 2008 when the CCP was visiting. They attempted to recruit her back to the country for her work, but she had no interest. Yeah, there's no way the United States was going to let her go. George says she was denied permission to go back to China to visit her mother. That's what I think that says there. Yeah. Wild. For Li, this accident caused permanent brain damage that resulted in Alzheimer's disease shortly after. Li lived with George, who took care of his mom for 6 years before she passed away in 2021. Well, that's pretty dark, chat. That's pretty suspicious. I hope that I don't get hit by a car. Pretty wild. Who's JP? JP Morgan? I don't know who these people are. Ashton Fort Orbs. Yeah, it was an accident. I hope I don't have any car accidents or any plane accidents. But yeah, they were never going to let her go back to China, guys, because you can tell like we're in like a war with China over some of this. The device did not modify gravity. Rather, it produced a gravity-like field that may either be attractive or repulsive, says a scientist at NASA Marshall Space Flight Center. I mean, NASA Marshall Space Flight Center is the same place where Amy Eskridge's dad worked. Richard Eskridge. It's a gravity-like force you can point in any direction. It can be used in space to protect the International Space Station's impacts. I mean, yes, guys, that's what gravity manipulation is. Like people think that you're actually like changing gravity, but gravity is just a pressure differential between the ether and the space-time ether and mass. So you can like the same thing. Anti-gravity is just like making gravity. I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point, everybody. But this is how they promote disinformation and misinformation. It's gravity manipulation, not anti-gravity. Technically, they do the same thing. Yeah, I should wear one of those big bubbles, like be Bubble Boy, you know? They're going to phase conjugate me to Diego Garcia. Yeah, maybe I should just live stream it while I'm on the airplane. Interesting. Of course, the rumors and sensationalism, there's no sensationalism. I mean, do you just read what you just wrote here? This is incredible. People are like, oh, you just have a gravity gun. Yeah, okay, well, whatever. Gravity gun's also wild, chat. Okay, interesting. Close that. Okay, so what is Redstone Arsenal? Supposedly she worked at Redstone Arsenal. Does anyone know what this is? Have you guys heard of this? United States Army base adjacent to Huntsville, Alabama in the Wheeler National Refuge. What is this? Redstone Arsenal. Whoa, hello, that's a lot of logos. That's a lot of logos. What's going on Redstone Arsenal? How do I make this text different? Okay. She apparently worked at this place. Government contractor workforce that averages 36,000 of 40,000 personnel per day. What are they doing there? Chemical manufacturing facility? Research and development by German rocket scientists who are brought to the United States as part of Operation Paperclip. How does this just randomly in the Wikipedia? Do you guys... Am I imagining this? Holy shit. What is this, chat? What the fuck? How does it just say this in a Wikipedia article? I thought the Operation Paperclip thing was like a conspiracy theory. German rocket scientists that were brought to the United States as a part of Operation Paperclip. Well, that's weird. They first started working on ballistic missiles, then the V-2 rocket. So if I was researching anti-gravity, this would seem to be a good spot to do it. You got NASA involved in this? Guys, I'm starting to get a little bit sketched out. Oh, I think I played Fallout where there was a Redstone Arsenal. Well, this is weird. Whoa. Tenant Organizations Command and Use. Department of Defense. Defense Intelligence Agency. What, chat? What? Defense Intelligence Agency. Well, we might have to look at this a different time, chat. Marshall Space Flight Center is located there as well. Whoa. There's an FBI thing here. I mean, whoa, this place is not messing around. I'm getting sketched out just looking at this. How much more shit is at this Redstone Arsenal location? What? What? Huntsville Arsenal. Is this where all the scientists are hanging out? U.S. Space Force or Air Force? Were they trying to move this? Is this where they were trying to move the Space Force to recently? Huh. Ballistic Missile Agency? Redstone Arsenal remains a center of testing, development, and doctrine for Army's missile programs. Besides the U.S. Army Material Command and the U.S. Aviation Missile Life Cycle Command, Red House houses Tactical UAV Project Office. What? Tactical Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Project Office? Whoa, chat. Redstone Test Center, the Missile Defense Agency, and the Missile and Space Intelligence Center? What is that? After operating as a tenant on the Redstone Arsenal for over half a century, the Ordnance, Munitions, and Maintenance School was moved to Fort Lee. Redstone Arsenal continues to host the Marshall Space Flight Center, NASA's largest field center for propulsion analysis and development. Whoa. Well, I think we hit a bullseye here tonight, chat. Wow. Wow. This is pretty wild. Huh. Didn't expect we would run into this tonight. Okay. It's a lot of people hanging out at this place. Okay, weird. Okay, next thing. Yeah, let's remember Redstone Arsenal. Guys, if I get disappeared, find me at Diego Garcia or maybe Redstone Arsenal. That Redstone Arsenal place. Okay, let's look. I got some scientific papers from Ning Lee here as well. I'm going to take a brief review of this. Yeah, kind of Yahtzee. Ooh. Kind of Yahtzee, chat. Yeah, I'm tired, chat. Okay. So I think these papers are in order. And I haven't read through them all yet. Just didn't have a lot of time today, but gravitational effects on the magnetic attenuation of superconductors. It is found that when gravitational effects are taken into account, the two historical independent traditional hallmarks of ideal superconductors, perfect conductivity and perfect diamagnetism, characterized by zero permeability, are actually related to one another in terms of a theoretical something, omega mu. I don't know. My Greek alphabet needs some help. Model developed in this paper. Our results suggest a possible importance of gravitational effects in understanding superconductivity. So there's a direct connection between superconductivity and gravity manipulation. Very interesting. There's this something interesting today in the hands of Lockheed Martin. The government has stopped investing in the agency since 2016. I know. We'll have to, guys, the Redstone Arsenal thing we'll have to wait for when I come back from Cosmic Summit. We'll maybe look into more of the history. How can we learn about this? You're doing it right now, chat. You're doing it right now. You know, the thing about learning the science is that it's just takes effort and motivation. You're not going to find YouTube explainer videos on this kind of stuff. You got to dig into it yourself. You got to start at the beginning. You got to work your way up. Oh, I'm definitely going to be looking into Potkanov's stuff as well. I'm just starting to get a little bit scared about going into a lot of this science and especially the gravity stuff because I know it's real. And so it's like, we're like looking at the answers here. And I just get a little bit careful because they've been trying to hide this for a long time. And I think if I talk a little bit too much about this, then I could definitely become a target if I'm not already. Okay, so there's a bunch of numbers here. Numbers are for nerds, guys. Numbers are for drama school nerd or drama class nerds. So we're gonna go down to just let's see if we find anything interesting. Macroscopic average bounds, blah blah blah. More nerd stuff. Ooh, here we go. Something about Meissner effects. The perfect diamagnetic property of superconductors or the Meissner effect suggests that UR equals 0 is equivalent to the statement that the magnetic field is 0 inside the superconductor. However, results of the experimental measurements of the Meissner effect vary widely. Several theoretical models are proposed to explain the departures of the ideal Meissner effect. For example, the effect of trapped fluxes and impurities. To the best of our knowledge, the attenuation of magnetic fields by superconductors has yet to be satisfactorily explained. So, guys, I'm going to tell you guys as much as I can without getting myself in trouble here. If you guys have been following, a lot of this should start to make sense for you. Oh, I forgot to look at the attosecond thing. I'm going to have to look into that after this, the attosecond thing. All right, let me write that down. That was last year, right? So magnetic field equals 0. Why is that important, chat? Who in the chat knows why magnetic field equaling 0 is important? Who has been with us long enough to know what the connection there is? Why would magnetic field being 0 be important? Yo, it's APK, man, chill out. APK, thank you very much, man. Okay, please chill out though. You're gonna actually like really piss off the debunkers at this point. Let's do a $500,000 crowdfund and get Salvatore to work for us. I don't think Salvatore is going to be let out of the so-called so-called Space Force and Navy cage. I think it's more likely that I will work with Salvatore Paez on his projects than him be allowed to leave those things. It's kind of like the mob. Once you're in the mob, they don't let you out of the mob. You're never out, unfortunately. But thank you very much, man. That's huge. That's really huge. Yeah, thank you again, APK, for the donations tonight, man. That's been big. I appreciate you, brother. Stress in the medium. Exactly, stress in the medium. So if we zero out our magnetic vector potential, what are we left with? The stress in the medium. I actually broke a rubber band today for the first time when I was showing the example. If we zero out our magnetic vector potential and or our electric vector potential, what are we left with? Stress in the medium. What's stress in the medium, guys? Gravity. Gravity is stress in the medium. So now you can begin to understand why magnetic field being 0 is important. If we have a situation where we get to a 0 magnetic field, if we can create a 0 magnetic field in our superconductor, now we might be able to produce a gravity wave, shoot an electric charge through it, and have it, zero out the magnetic field. And now what comes out on the other side? Maybe a gravity wave comes out on the other side. And I'm not saying this is a statement of fact. This should all be considered to be fan fiction, just for anybody who's interested that's out there. But yeah, conceptually, I have a feeling that this is getting pretty close to how it's pulled off. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm definitely going to read this whole thing. We might have to do a follow-up on some of this. But like I said, if I start to get a little bit too close, guys, I'm probably going to chill out from some of this. It should be pointed out that since nothing is known of the phase velocity of a gravitational wave propagating within a superconductor, it is usually presumed to be equal to the velocity of light. We argue that the interaction of the coupled electromagnetic and graviton-electromagnetic fields with the Cooper pairs in superconductors will form superconducting condensate waves characterized by a phase velocity. Okay, well, I can already see why she got disappeared, bro. I can already see why she got disappeared. I mean, we're way too over the target right now. I can already tell. I should probably stop reading, frankly. I could already tell I should probably stop reading. But we're gonna keep going. I'm just getting a little bit creeped out. I mean, if you have been watching around, if you've been following along, you know that what we're reading here is legit. You can already tell because it coincides with what Thomas Bearden was talking about in the 80s, like coincides with what Tom Montauk was talking about, guys. So Tom Montauk was talking about scalar physics and how the stress in the medium is, when you zero out the magnetic field. This is why, because remember from LK99, I'm going to show you guys a video of LK99. This is the most important thing that you need to see. This is why LK99 was suppressed. This is why. Because look at this rock just levitating over the magnet. How is it levitating over the magnet? It's levitating over the magnet because it's bending the magnetic fields around the rock. That's how it levitates like this. The Meissner effect. It's literally bending the magnetic fields around the rock. So imagine that you use, let's say, a lens of superconducting material, and then you shoot your electromagnetic wave through it. What's going to happen? It's going to spread all the electromagnetic wave away from it. But what's going to be left? The stress in the medium is going to be left. Is this how you produce a gravity wave? You just shoot it through the superconductor? And then what you're left with on the other side is a gravity wave? I don't know. I'm just guessing. Chat. This is all fan fiction. Just guessing. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I have a feeling the rest of this paper says so. So I don't have a link to this because somebody had to email me this paper. You have to pay to read this paper online. We couldn't find anywhere where it was available for free. So I'll try to get some people. I'll post it in our Discord if you want. If you guys join the Discord, I will post it in the Discord for you guys. In the public science, I'm going to upload it right now, actually. So if you guys want to read these papers. Ning Lee papers. Okay. I've just uploaded them in the Discord in the public science channel if you want to read them. Pretty wild, huh? Okay, let's see what else we can find in this particular paper. It's wild that I hadn't even read this yet, but I'm focusing on certain words that I see when I read through this and I go, oh boy. And this was 1992, chat. 1992. Plasma frequency? Okay, let me see here. In fact, the range of blah, 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 there are no thermal excitation mechanisms present, and the only process allowing the absorption of energy is the creation of the Cooper pairs, which is determined by whatever. This allows one to drop the real part and to write conductivity as this. I have no idea what that means. One may write. Sounds like she's explaining how to achieve high temperature superconductivity through plasma. Conductivity. Anything else we see on here? Yeah, Salvatore Pais was pretty wild, chat. Okay, let's go to the conclusions. Let's skip ahead to the conclusions here. Relaxation time. I'm going to have to look up some of these terms to really fully understand exactly what they mean. Expressing the conductivity equation as a function of the magnetic attenuation coefficient is shown in figure 4. Where's figure 4? Which one's figure 4? Do her figures even have names on them? That's probably this one. Is that figure 4? I'm not part of any large project. There's no strings on me, chat. I do whatever the hell I want, chat. I do whatever the hell I want. At least for now. One sees if our typical observed conductivity is larger than the order of 10 to the 25, the corresponding magnetic attenuation coefficient is larger than the order of 10 to the minus 20. Comparing this experimental limit with the extreme theoretical approximation of Schiff's result, a possible range for the magnetic attenuation coefficient can be predicted as... Wait, what? Is that this? The result suggests that experimentally observed very poor Meissner effect may not simply be caused by impurities alone, but may be the result of more fundamental physical mechanism, namely gravitational effects. What? What? Huh. Well, that's interesting. Is she just basically saying that superconductivity can be explained as gravity effects? Meissner effect is an anti-gravity mechanism? Is this why when I saw LK99, I immediately just thought of anti-gravity? Wow. Hello. Whoa. This is why LK99 was hidden, right? Like I just showed you guys. Let me show you the other LK99 video I have. That one's better because it's harder to debunk the other one. This one's pretty good too, though. You're just watching a rock float freely over a magnet. The Earth is a giant magnet. I didn't realize there was sound on this video. Pretty wild. Interesting. Somehow there's a connection between Cooper pairs, superconductivity, and gravitometric engineering. Yeah, I agree. It does seem like that. Those videos that I was showing you of superconductivity are not on YouTube, by the way. I pulled those off of Twitter last summer, right before I started posting about this. Some of this stuff is very hard to find. That's why whenever I find some of the crazy stuff, like those crazy videos, I always take them. Whenever it's got Chinese letters and Korean stuff all over it, I'm like, this is not going to last on the internet. I immediately download that shit. Okay, I don't want to, guys. Okay, let's look at the second paper. So this one's gravitoelectric coupling via superconductivity. Recently, and this was 1993, so this is the next year. Recently, we demonstrated theoretically that carriers of quantized angular momentum in superconductors are not the Cooper pairs, but the lattice ions, which must execute coherent localized motion consistent with the phenomenon of superconductivity. Huh. We demonstrate here that in the presence of an external magnetic field, the free superelectron and bound ion currents largely cancel, providing a self-consistent microscopic and macroscopic interpretation of near zero magnetic permeability inside the superconductors. The neutral mass currents, however, do not cancel because of the monopolar gravitational charge. It is shown that the coherent alignment of the lattice ion spins will generate a detectable gravitomagnetic field. And in the presence of time-dependent applied magnetic vector potential, a detectable gravitoelectric field. Wow. Wow, chat. Yeah, we are in it. Let's just go straight to the conclusion on this one because I'm tired and I got to stop streaming in a minute. Wow. Okay, let's see what the conclusion is on this one. Does she not even have like a conclusion section? Not really. We'll just read down here somewhere. When the external magnetic vector potential is ramped up, a time-dependent gravitomagnetic vector potential is generated, which is the E to the G field. So that's the electrogravitic field, I presume. I don't know how I'm knowing what these letters mean. Clearly, because of the coupling of the gravitational electric charges through a common carrier, the vector magnetic potential plays the role of a vector gravitomagnetic potential. This becomes self-evident when you look at the equations written this way. The effective time-dependent gravitomagnetic potential becomes very large because the inverse dependence on U, which is very small. The small value for U is caused by the fact that the internal quantized electron ion current opposes that generated by the non-quantized Cooper pair free current, resulting in a net small current, which results in the condition UR equals 0, or basically negligible. In equation 2.12, JMM and JMF are equal sign. No current cancellation occurs, yielding mu gravity equals 10 to the 4. The fact that the mass of the carrier of the JMM current, whatever, is that of the ions, whereas the JMF current is carried by the Cooper pairs, results in the factor of 10 to the 4 effective increase. The final value assumed by, I think that's mu r, under the equilibrium conditions is determined by the requirement given by equation 2.27, namely that the superconductor must remain a force-free region. The net result is the generation of potentially detectable gravitoelectric and gravitomagnetic fields. Experimental validation of the theoretical prediction would verify the gravitational analogs of Maxwell's equations and further confirm general relativity. Notice how she didn't say Heaviside there, right? She said Maxwell's equations, not Heaviside's equations. She's talking about the scalar potential. The way I read that last paragraph is that by reducing the magnetic field, just like in the previous paper, you're able to produce a scalar potential, maybe even a scalar wave, a scalar beam. Now it's starting to make sense. Remember the paper we read the other day, why you would use a superconductive lens. What is a superconductive lens? Superconductive lens, chat. The same way I'm having my lenses on right now. What do the lenses let me do? They correct my vision. Now imagine you take your electromagnetic potential and you shoot it through a superconductive lens. The superconductive lens zeroes out the magnetic vector potential. So what are you left with? A gravitoelectric potential, a scalar potential coming out the other side. This might be how you can produce a gravity wave. It would make sense on why she was disappeared given these papers. Static test for a gravitational force coupled to a type 2 YBCO superconductors, 1997. Okay, let's take a look at this bad boy. As a Bose condensate, superconductors provide novel conditions for revisiting previously proposed couplings between electromagnetism and gravity. Strong variations in Cooper pair density, large conductivity, and low magnetic permeability define superconductive and degenerate condensates without the traditional density limits imposed by the Fermi energy. Recent experiments have reported anomalous weight loss for the total mass suspended above a rotating type 2 YBCO superconductor with a percentage change of 0.05 to 2.1%, independent of the test mass's chemical composition and diamagnetic properties. A variation of 5 parts per 10 to the 4 was reported above a stationary non-rotating superconductor. In experiments using a sensitive gravimeter, bulk YBCO superconductors were stably levitated in a DC magnetic field. DC magnetic field. Changes in acceleration were measured to be less than 2 parts per 10 to the 8 of the normal gravitational acceleration. This result puts new limits on the strength and range of the proposed coupling between static superconductors and gravity. So then the question I think is, how do you scale it up to be able to produce more powerful gravitic effects? Superconducting disks. Interesting. Yeah, rest in peace for her, huh? If anyone has any thoughts, let me know. These graphs look important, but I can't tell what they mean. All the papers are on the Discord right now. They've got 5 fire emojis on them at the moment. I put all 3 of these up there. ACB field. Oh, so she did all these different fields. Well, look at this. ACB field plus superconductor, just superconductor alone. Oh, wow. Okay, I get what she's showing here. I have to figure out what they're measuring here. This seems very important. Baseline. Okay. I might need someone to help explain this one to me. Yeah, I'm going to have to read these later tonight and then maybe talk about them tomorrow or this weekend. Let's just read the discussion. Any apparent gravitational contribution of the superconductor can be derived by subtracting the contribution of the magnet and superconductor together or combining. However, since the relative gravimeter responds weakly to the magnetic field, the uniquely superconductive contribution must combine any gravitational effect with the diamagnetic shielding of the magnets by the YBCO superconductor. Uses its 20 to 90% shielding of the field. In any case, the maximum contribution to a change in gravity of a static superconductor in a constant magnetic field was measured as less than 2 parts in 10 to the 8 of the normal gravitational acceleration. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, man! I told you to chill. Now I'm definitely gonna get trolled for. But thank you very much, man. APK, you went way above and beyond tonight. You didn't need to donate so much. I can already hear, I can feel the Redditors seething at your donations. Let's have a toast to Salvatore. Man is just one of us, but a brilliant mind. Too bad he is now intertwined with the powers that be, but his honesty and personality shall not be forgotten. Cheers. Cheers to Sal. This is just a root beer, but cheers. Thank you, man. Yeah, Salvatore Paez is the best, man. What a legend, man. What a legend, dude. Okay. This measurement extends an approximately 4 to 5 order magnitude improvement over the previous obtained with the use of optoelectronic balance instrumentation. Relative to the gravitomagnetic force, which depends on an AC magnetic drive or source term, the static case more strongly constrains interpretations based on either simple material shielding or absorption of gravity, regardless of the relative orders of magnitude. A coupling term quadratic to the Euclidean gravity based on the Bose condensate and radial absorption does not require either rotation or a magnetic field to induce density fluctuations in the Cooper pairs, particularly in the limit of infinite conductivity. That's superconductivity. Later work has generalized the Meissner effect in a gravitational field as a superconductive analog of a Zeeman shift. Schiff and Barnhill and DeWitt show that it is not the electrical and magnetic fields which vanish inside a superconductor, but the linear combination of the internal fields plus a gravitational component. This additional term lends itself to free-floating electrons, which have an effect on the background of the lattice ions. Lee and Tor proposed that was them. She's referencing herself right here. Proposed that a superconductor's London moment, that's the London penetration depth, and the absence of a current separation lends to a higher angular momenta for rotating ions such that calculated gravitomagnetic effects can arise as the electron velocity is replaced by the velocity in the lattice. Using the London moment, large values for conductivity, which define the superconducting state, coupled to the resulting low magnetic permeability observed in the Meissner effect, lend to a coupling between the dense concentration of high angular momentum ions and gravitomagnetism. In the superconductive limit, the calculation depends sensitively on the vanishing magnetic. So yeah, it depends on the vanishing magnetic field, but finite gravitomagnetic permeabilities and ion much larger gyromagnetic ratio compared to the electronic Cooper pairs. The rotating version of this experiment will be reported in subsequent work. In addition to superconductors, other Bose condensates such as superfluid helium have been investigated for gravitomagnetic field exclusion. Holy shit! But the low thermal conductivity of helium limits measurable power transfer from AC magnetic field by several orders of magnitude below YBCO superconductor. Are you fucking kidding me, chat? If you guys have been listening to the Hard Truths podcast, you know why I'm saying this right now. What the fuck? Also, what did I just see? APK again. Also, let's toast to Ashton, the man that brought more exposure to advanced tech than all the brain dead people that have been trying their whole life. This algo does not let me spend more. Well, at least I made you chill out off the donations, but thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. That's a Yahtzee, brother. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Whoa, guys. So if you don't remember, Eric Hecker Hard Truths podcast, something he never revealed to anybody except for to me. When he was in Antarctica, they had 450,000 gallons of helium-3 superfluid. Helium-3 is a superfluid. This says right here that superfluid helium-3 might be used for gravomagnetic field exclusion, so that you can basically use it the same way that you would use a superconductor to produce a gravity wave. Whoa. This is why they have the helium-3 in Antarctica. They have some type of gravity wave detector or producer in Antarctica. That's what the EMF for the whatever it's called, the ice cube neutrino detector. Those things are not just neutrino detectors. One of those things is either a high frequency gravitational wave detector, transmitter, or something. We don't know the exact purpose, but that's why they've got the helium-3 down there. They're using it in replacement of a superconductor. Wow. Holy smokes, chat. Holy shit. Yeah, you can do it to both. You can detect gravitational waves and maybe even produce the gravitational waves. Yeah, that's why they have the black projects in Antarctica. They've got a high frequency gravitational wave detector down there and maybe a high frequency gravitational wave producer. That's the only reason why you have 450,000 gallons of helium-3. You know how dangerous having helium like that is? That's extremely explosive. Eric Hecker told me a story about how afraid he was when there might have been a fire in the area where the helium-3 was being stored. I mean, it would have blown up the whole area. They use superfluid helium for a satellite as well. Wow. Well, that's crazy, chat. Wow. Huh. Helium's not explosive? I thought it was. It's not. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, no. Helium is not flammable. Oh, okay. Good. I stand corrected. So that's even a better reason to use it. Because then it's not as big of a danger. Could still probably, if it's under pressure, I mean, you can imagine something bad happening. But yeah, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know it's not flammable. Thank you, chat. But that's why they're using it, huh? That's why they've got it down there. Eric Hecker was like, I don't know why, but they've got 450,000 gallons of helium-3 superfluid. And he said he wanted to look into more why they might have it. I might have to send him this screenshot. This is pretty weird, chat. This is pretty weird. Okay, guys, one last thank you very much to the man of the hour, APK345. Thank you to Mangel as well for that donation. APK345 went crazy tonight with the donations. I mean, holy criminy, that was a lot of donations. I think you set a record, man. So really appreciate you, brother. Really appreciate it. Yeah, the people that have been watching, you guys know how serious this is. All these papers are available in the Discord. I'll show the graphs one more time. Baseline, B field, thermal, the YBCO superconductor, B field plus YBCO superconductor. B field plus YBCO again. YBCO and B field. YBCO minus or okay, these are pluses. Let's see. Huh. And then down here, more baseline ACB field. Thermal, YBCO, A field, B field, plus YBCO, AC B field plus YBCO, and YBCO minus B field. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to read these in more detail. Maybe I'll read them on my airplane while I'm trying to get orbed away. Pretty sweet, guys. I'll post another link to the Discord. I don't post links. I don't make permanent links to Discord. The Discord links only last for one day because otherwise we get trolled by too many pieces of crap that are out there. So there's a link to the Discord. That should have enough invites for you guys to join still. I'm just looking to see how many people joined today. Yeah, should work for a while. Let's dunk on the debunkers. APK, man. Thank you, brother. Yeah, relax on the donations for real, though, man. I appreciate it. I don't want you to spend any more of your money on me. I appreciate it, though, man. That was really nice of you. I'll definitely get several martinis this weekend. So tomorrow, guys, we're probably going to have a chill stream tomorrow. I was going to look over some more gravity papers, but I don't know. I might be kind of busy packing and stuff tomorrow as well. We'll see. So thank you guys for watching tonight. I appreciate you guys. Oh, man. He's not listening. He's not listening, chat. I'm going to have to end this stream to stop him from donating, man. He's a madman out there. He's a madman. APK, thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. This just in, on Skyfighters, Ashton Forbes is accepting bribe money from influencers on his stream. He's a UFO Shane with comments. He's a grifter. He's a grifter. Rare, rare. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. There's no links to these papers, guys. They're behind paywalls, so you have to join the Discord if you wanna see them. Sorry, there's no links to the papers. They're only downloadable. So if you're in the Discord, you can find them in the science chat. In the public science, you can find all 3 papers. I just posted them. You can download them. This was awesome, though, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for digging into the Ning Lee stuff with me. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for being here. Here's the 4 orbs. But, guys, this is the last day that the 4 orb sign won't be on the wall. Finally, my dad's coming over tomorrow to put it up. He was supposed to come over today, but he got sidetracked. So hopefully tomorrow I can move this table somewhere else, and then I'll have the sign up here, and it'll start to look a little better behind me here as well. So awesome, guys. Thank you very much, MH370X. You guys have a great night. I'm going to play you guys out with the Cypher.
Out in the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum squeezed so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism, plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Forces balancing the plates, creating the throat, opening gates from Earth to the stars in a single bound. A shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear. Exploring the cosmos, our future's here.